Hey, welcome back to Student of the Gun Radio. You are probably relaxing, or you have been relaxing. You've been taking the Labor Day weekend off, unless, of course, you're in the service industry or the police industry or the police world, because we know cops don't get the weekend off, and we know people that are in the service industry don't get the weekend off. But if you work for a bank, the post office, or the federal government, you absolutely have a 3-day weekend. Now, Jared and I, we don't have a 3-day weekend. We have a 0-day weekend. We worked all weekend because what do we do on Saturday, Jared? We did a women's self-defense course.
Yeah, we did a women's self-defense course here at the House of Pain.
Here at the Student of the Gun University. So thank you for all the lovely ladies that came out for our women's self-defense course. And if you are on the Gulf Coast and listening to the sound of my voice, you want to go ahead and keep an eye out for our training calendar for the next one. Now, what have we got coming up here, Jared? We've got a not fighting pistol. We've got Beyond the Band-Aid class coming up the end of September.
Yeah, we've got a Beyond the Band-Aid class, Force Options
class. And what else?
What else we got coming up?
Hey, while I'm welcoming the folks, why don't you go ahead and look up the new Brownells promo code? That's right, folks. We promised you that there would be a new promo code for the month of September, and we've got one for you, and Jared's about to drop it into the show notes. We actually just got an email from our buddies at Brownell telling us what the new promo code was and what it's going to be. But while he's doing that, I'm going to let you guys know about the SWAT Fuel promo code. That is SOTG 2014, Sierra Oscar Tango Golf 2014, fire for effect. Now, if you put that in there, it's going to get you 20% off your total purchase at SWATfuel.com. So you want to make sure you're checking that out. Don't forget about our friends at Colt, with the makers of the LE901 rifle. And hopefully you guys this week, if you caught it, if you didn't catch it on TV, you can go to studentofthegun.com and you can watch the show right there, because as you guys know, if you're experienced students of the gun, and if you're new, I'll hip you. That's cool. What you can do is you can go to student. It's GTF?
Yeah.
Jared just dropped the promo code in my show notes, and it popped up. And the Brownells promo code for for the month of September is GTF, or Golf Tango Foxtrot. There's not an Oscar at the end of that. There's just Golf Tango Foxtrot. And if you use that promo code at brownells.com, you get a $10 gift card with every order of $50 or more. So make sure you're going to brownells.com. And when you do, use your new promo code, GTF.
You can't forget that. How could you forget that promo code?
I got to wonder, is Ryan over there messing with us, or was that just...
He's like, watch, they're going to have to say this on the radio.
Oh, man, that's too funny. All right, so we told you about Colt, and make sure that you check out the segment about the LE901 on Student of the Gun TV this week. If you didn't see it, go to studentofthegun.com. You can watch the show, SWAT Fuel. And I'm going to talk to you guys about being happy.
Happy, happy, joy, joy, happy, happy, joy, joy, happy, happy, joy, joy.
Well, that little clip pretty much sums up my feelings. That's my song when the UPS man comes down the sidewalk with his hand truck loaded with cases of ammo. And that's what happened to me this week. We got some ammo from our good friends at Black Hills. And I wanted to take a moment, and I'm not gloating, but I wanted to take a moment and talk about ammunition right now. We've had, I guess over the last, 5 or 6 years, Jared, we've had some serious hot and cold issues with off-the-shelf ammunition. As you know, there's been a crunch or a crisis or a buying frenzy or whatever you want to call it on ammunition in the United States, particularly training-type ammunition, full metal jacket ammunition. And sadly and unfortunately, we've encountered some serious quality control issues with factory off-the-shelf ammunition. And from big names, from people that you would expect would be, really spot on. And it's sad because the same ammunition that I'm talking about, when I was working with it, 10, 15 years ago, and I was doing accuracy tests and so forth, and I'd chronograph the ammunition, and it was fantastic. Well, you guys know that what happens with supply and demand. When you have a huge demand and they try and increase the supply, they have to put new machinery out, and not only new machinery, but new people. They don't spend as much time as they should. Now, there is a company out there. There's more than one, but this one company I'm going to talk about is a company that never shortcuts quality control. And I've been working with them on a regular basis for at least 15 years now, and that's Black Hills Ammunition of South Dakota. If you're not familiar with Black Hills Ammunition, you really should make yourself familiar with them. I've never had, I can say this honestly to you guys, I'm closing my eyes and I'm thinking back, I've never had a piece of Black Hills Ammunition that I was dissatisfied with. And you say, and we really got spoiled, let's face it, 10, 15 years ago or so, we were really spoiled as a nation because the quality control of our ammunition was so high. Every once in a while you get a blemish or something like that, but generally you're talking like one round out of 1 million, one round out of 2 million will sneak through. Well, here lately, it's been a lot more than that, and we're hoping that now that things are calming down a bit. I was just talking to a friend of mine here recently in the industry, and he goes, is it not time for them to scale back a little and increase the quality control and get it back up to where it needs to be? And I hope that they're doing that at the major ammunition manufacturers. But we've got a bunch of ammunition from Black Hills that we're going to be using and featuring in the upcoming television season of Student of the Gun, and 7.62 and 308. 308 and 7.62, same thing. 5.56, 9mm 45, you name it. So we just thought we'd take a moment and I would share a little bit of my happiness and a little bit of my joy with you guys out there in the listening audience. Now, Jared, do you want to step right into the excess good guy of the week and tell us that's his handle there, is Whiskey Uniform Alpha?
Yeah, that's the handle of the dude.
That's his handle,
or the chick.
Whoever you happen to be, we hope you don't fall off the treadmill when you hear your name on the radio this week.
Yeah, that was pretty funny.
All right, go ahead and hit it, brother.
Our excess good guy this week is WUA is the forum handle. And obviously they posted it to the forum, which is forums.studentofthegun.com. There's a couple new topic threads open. I think one's concealed carry insurance and the other one is something else. You should go there and find out.
Don't forget to remind them that they can now access the forum through the Student of the Gun mobile app.
Yeah, you can get it on the mobile app now. If you don't have Student of the Gun mobile app, go to your app store. It's on iTunes and Android. Go to your App Store, Google Play, and download the Student of the Gun app. You can get the forum there and several other things. It's pretty much the mobile gateway. We've got the internet gateway. Yeah, we've got the internet gateway at studentofthegun.com, and we've got the mobile gateway, which is the mobile app.
And don't forget, you can leave comments and photos of what you happen to be doing out there in the Student of the Gun world on the mobile app. So check that out.
Anyway, the question this week is, what is your opinion of cross-drawing? I'm relatively new to firearms and am practicing with my first holster that can be set in various ways. I keep coming back to the cross-drawing and am wondering if I am developing a bad habit or not.
Okay,
Before he gets started,
I
need you to send me your address, your shirt size, and your phone number to Jared, Jarrad, at studentofthegun.com.
Okay. Cross-drawing. Oh. Not cross-dressing, but cross-drawing. And this is kind of one of those, I don't know if it's a fad. It comes and goes. It goes all the way back to if you go to a history museum, and not a Western movie museum, but actual history, you will see that there were indeed cross-draw holsters that went back to the 1800s, to when people started carrying handguns on themselves regularly, when handguns became cartridge operated as opposed to ball and powder and flint and caps and so forth, people started trying to figure out different ways to carry guns. And if you're seated a lot, if you're seated a great deal, people found that it was easier to put a holster on their front hip than it was on the back of their hip. It just worked out better that way. And they also found, and this is quite natural, that your hands are in front of you, they're not behind you. So you can legitimately drop your hands right down onto your waist where your gun is if it's a cross draw. And there's nothing wrong with that. The problem with cross draw holsters is not so much the carry method itself. The problem with cross draw holsters is that if you're going to be around other people, whether they're shooters or spectators or bystanders or what have you, the cross draw issue is where is the muzzle pointed as you're drawing the gun. Think about it. Take your finger and make it like a gun and put it down where your cross draw would be, and then pull it out and sweep it and see what happens. And you're like, oh yeah, I see what you're saying there. As I pull it out, I'm kind of creating a 90-degree arc where I'm muzzling everything in 90 degrees with my gun. And that is why most of your public ranges, that's why the vast majority of the shooting schools that you go to, they forbid cross-draw holsters and shoulder holsters. A lot of guys that shoulder holsters are really not that popular anymore. I mean, some people still carry them. They're kind of a specialty tool. They look cool. They're not generally very comfortable for men to wear, but they're kind of ninja. And there are times for a shoulder holster. I'll admit that. But most of the time when you go to these schools, they will tell you it needs to be a strong side belt holster and a strong side belt holster only. And it's not because the other methods are wrong. It's because what are you doing with the gun when you're drawing it, especially shoulder holsters. If you're on a line of shooters and you grab your gun and pull it out of your shoulder holster, it's almost guaranteed that you're going to muzzle at least one other person, if not several other people. And that's why those are big no-nos at shooting schools and training academies. It's not because the holster itself is wrong. It's because they're worried about the shooters muzzling other shooters when they're drawing their guns. And that's a big deal, obviously, at shooting schools. And because of that, it's kind of hard to get any real serious training with a cross-draw holster. Now, if you guys are familiar with cowboy action shooting or Western shooting, most every stage in a cowboy action shooting event requires you to use two handguns. Everybody carries two handguns, and then they have a shotgun and they have a rifle. Well, a lot of people will show up and they'll have a strong side drop leg holster for their primary 6-gun, and then they'll have a rig set up with a cross draw holster. Now, if you do that, and I've been to cowboy matches, it's been several years, but I still remember the range safety officer demonstrating the cross draw shuffle. And what he told us you have to do if you're going to cross draw is you need to take, let's say your gun is, and I'm trying to mime it here in the booth like they can actually see me. I'm over here in the booth twisting in my chair, miming the cross draw shuffle, but you can't see me. Maybe that's something for TV in the future.
So just use your imagination.
Yeah, just use your imagination. But let's say you're a righty and you have your cross draw holster on your left side. What they would show you is that if you're going to draw from your cross draw holster, that you have to shuffle your hips and kind of point your left hip downrange or towards the target area, then draw the gun. So that when the gun comes out of the holster, the muzzle is pointed in the downrange target area. Then you can go, do what you need to do, finish up, put the gun away, and you're good to go. And that's called the cross draw shuffle, not to be confused with the curly shuffle. So the answer to your question, I guess, is no, cross draw holsters are not wrong. There's nothing wrong with it. The biggest issue you need to concern yourself with is where is your muzzle pointed when you're both drawing the gun and when you're reholstering the gun. If you find that you're, covering your, muzzling your legs, muzzling your offhand, muzzling the whole world, then you may want to stick to something a little bit more simple, because eventually you're going to cover something with the muzzle that shouldn't be covered. You're going to point the gun at something that shouldn't have a gun pointed at it, and hopefully it won't go bang and put a bullet into something that bleeds, that shouldn't bleed. So that's the up, down, and sideways of cross-draw holsters, at least from Paul Markel right now. So we hope you appreciate that.
Let's move on to the first story here. This is the meat of this part, isn't it?
Yeah, this is the meat. What's the title of this
pun
episode?
Intended. Bullies, cowards, and liberals.
Oh, bullies, cowards, and liberals. But I repeat myself. All right, this first one, and let me say aloha snack bar to all you booger eaters out there. Can I say booger eaters on the? I think I just did.
Yeah,
okay.
I think that
aloha snack bar booger eaters. This one, the title is "Bacon Offends Haji, Restaurant Capitulates." That's what I've got in my show notes. But the story comes to us from TopRightNews.com. It's been around. This is just our source, but it's been around on several different sources. We saw it and we thought, well, it's time to talk about it. It says, see what happened when one Muslim says she is offended by a sign mentioning bacon. A sign? Like a sign made of cardboard and mentions bacon? The story is by Jason DeWitt, Top Right News. A few months ago, when we reported on a Muslim man who complained about a school which had passed out flyers inviting students to an Easter egg hunt, actually claiming that it violated the Constitution. I don't remember reading in the Christian Bible about Easter eggs and bunnies. Do you? You've read it, you didn't see it in there. But according to Mr. Insensitive Haji, that violates the Constitution. Do you find it hilarious, Jared, that people who come from an oligarchy, actually from a theocracy, where the religion, the church, the mosque controls every aspect of your life, do you find it ironic that they would claim constitutional protection? Am I taking crazy pills here? I feel like I'm taking crazy pills. But anyway, so the next level of stupidity here, it says, now a sign even mentioning bacon is insensitive to the Muslim community. But what one business did in response is what should really make you upset. It says, Vermont restaurant Sneakers Bistro has removed a sign that said yield sneakers bacon. Okay, I guess it means yield sneakers has bacon, citing opposition from a Muslim community member and safety concerns. It says the sign was put up as a part of a program that allowed businesses to post an advertisement in an area where they have helped maintain flower beds. And the sign that read yield sneakers bacon was removed after a woman identifying herself as a Muslim posted an online community. Oh my, this is so retarded. She posted in an online community forum stating that she was personally offended by the sign. You know what? Suck it. Get on a plane or on a boat and go back to the desert. And if you don't like it, suck it too, because I'm tired of this crap. And I'm tired of American citizens capitulating and being reasonable. And you're going to reasonable yourself right into the grave. You're going to reasonable your head right off of your shoulders. I don't know about you, Jared, but I'm totally sick, tired, fed up of not just I understand that douche nozzles are going to be douche nozzles, that people are going to be, these kind of people are going to be these kind of people. I got that. What I don't appreciate and what I can't get over is this capitulation, and we go back up to the top of the story and it says, citing safety concerns. Now let's go ahead and let's deal with that real quick. What safety concerns? So what you're telling me, legitimately, if I was sitting with the owner of Bacon or Sneakers Bistro here, and they said, "Oh, we removed the sign due to safety concerns." Well, in the police world, we call that a clue. So what you're telling me is that you're being extorted through threat of violence. Is that illegal, Jared? Can you extort people through threat of violence in the United States?
Well, I don't know about Vermont.
Well, maybe in Vermont you can. Jared, now hang on a second. Have we not been scolded by our audience telling us about how free Vermont is?
Indeed, we have.
So we've been scolded by the audience up there in New England telling us that Vermont is the free state and that Vermont is the constitutional state, right? Didn't they tell us stop referring to New Hampshire as constitutional carry? It's actually Vermont. We've gotten that, right? We've had Vermont people write in and tell us all about how they're forward thinking and they're advanced and that they have more freedom than everybody, but they're afraid. They get so scared when one Muslim woman posts on an online community forum stating that she's offended.
Yeah, apparently Sneakers Bistro owner is not one of the
free
hard people from Vermont.
Yeah. So safety concerns is. I got a question, Jared. You have Jewish friends. I have Jewish friends. That's not really a question. That was a statement. But did any of your Jewish friends ever threaten to burn down Wendy's because they advertised the Baconator on their billboards?
Nope.
So your Jewish friends have never picketed or protested outside of a Subway because they put bacon on their
I can't think of
ham.
They kind of just keep to themselves.
Sausage. So what is this, folks? Hey, listen up, people. If there's somebody that's still in my audience, and you guys, I know you are, my choir, you like to tell me, you don't have to tell us that, Paul, we're the choir. I got it. If you're part of the choir, rock on, drive on. But what I'm telling you guys out there as the choir is it's more than you that's tuning in. It's more than you that's listening. There are still some people that have not quite been converted yet, that are not in the choir yet. And sometimes I hurt their feelings. And if your feelings are hurt by a guy on the radio, if they're so fragile that the guy on the radio can hurt your feelings, you got a lot bigger problems.
It's time to man up.
Yeah, it's time to absolutely man up and, look down between your legs and check and see if you've got a pair. And now, we do know that there are some eunuchs in the audience that are listening to us. And, hey, if you're a eunuch and you're listening to us, I got you. That's cool, too. And most of the eunuchs that are listening to us are members of what we would describe as the mainstream media. But that's okay if you're a member of the mainstream media and also a eunuch, because those things go together. We're glad that you're out there and we're glad that you're listening. But, folks, this caving in to bullies has got to end. It has to stop. Because where does it end? So, and where in the Constitution of the United States of America does it say you have the right not to be offended? Is that in there, Jared? I didn't see it. I didn't catch that. You have a right not to be offended.
Well, maybe it's your interpretation. Maybe you're interpreting it wrong.
Yeah. Did you say interpreting? Did
I say that?
Oh, man.
Did I say that?
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure I said interpreting.
Roll the tape back.
I'm going to have to go back and listen to it.
Yeah, but it's just another example of bullying. And that leads us into our topic. And we have to ask yourself this. I've been dealing with bullies. I've been fighting back against bullies my entire adult life, whether they were bullies on the other side of the earth, while I was in the Marine Corps, whether they were bullies out on the streets as I was a police officer, when I was working as a professional bodyguard, which I did for about 12, 13 years. I dealt with a lot of fully grown adult bullies then. And I don't give in to bullies. I don't capitulate to bullies. And I certainly am not going to begin now. And ask yourself this. You have the people on the other side. And it's really no simple than this, is bullies are also at their heart cowards. Remember that. Bullies are also in their hearts, they're cowards. And anytime there is a chance of someone fighting back or someone could fight back, the bullies will back down. but you have to actually fight back to see that happen. Consider the death penalty versus abortion. You say, well, you've got your liberal left-leaning statist friends that are all about abortion, but they think the death penalty is wrong. And you say to yourself, well, how is it that it's an unviable tissue mass. Screw you, you're an idiot. It's not an unviable tissue mass. Maybe you are an unviable tissue mass, but that infant inside the mother's womb is not an unviable tissue mass. It has fingerprints and a heartbeat and all that good stuff, so stop it. But you say, well, how is it that you can be for abortion and against the death penalty? Well, because the death penalty you're dealing with a human being that is still there, that could actually argue against you trying to execute them. And that would require fortitude. That would require effort. The fetus that's inside the mother's womb can't argue. It can't defend itself. So it's easy to kill it. It's hard to kill a 48-year-old murderer because he's actually there, and you actually have to look him in the eye. And that requires courage, and that's something they don't have. Let's talk about gun control versus criminal control. We know for a fact, I mean, we can give you reams and reams of studies and research and reports and so forth that show that increased gun control and increased, civilian disarmament does nothing to stop crime, does not curb crime. But why do they go for gun control versus criminal control? Because a gun is an inanimate object. The gun can't defend itself. It's really tough to try and hold criminals, to try and hold humans responsible for their behavior, which is what you have to do if you actually address the issue. If you address the crime problem, it's not a gun problem, it's a human problem. But that's tough. That requires effort. That requires courage to actually point to a group of people or to people and say, you know what? Your criminal behavior is the problem, not the objects that you happen to be holding when you commit the crimes. It's your behavior that's the problem. That takes courage. Let's talk about Christians versus Muslims. Why is it that we can force Christian business owners to cater to homosexuals when it's against their religious beliefs? When's the last time you saw the ACLU or any other hippie liberal puke face organization try and force a Muslim to accept homosexual marriage? I want to see that. I want the Muslim baker to be forced at the point of a gun to bake a cake for a homosexual couple. Oh, well, we have to pull down signs that say the word bacon on them because we're so afraid of offending the Muslims. Because why? Why aren't we afraid of offending Christians? Ask yourself this, and all of you atheists out there, and all of you agnostic people, and all of you enlightened people that don't feel the need to believe in a deity, all of you people out there, be honest with yourself. Why do you think that it's okay? Why is it okay for the media, for Hollywood, to the United States federal government to persecute and pick on Christians? Why is it okay? Because they know that and if you're not afraid of Christians coming and burning down your business and killing you and sawing your head off with a knife and holding your severed head up in front of a camera, you're not afraid of those, are you? So what does that tell you? What should you really be concerned about? Oh, yeah. And I have one more question for you, and I don't often get off on the topic of religion, but we're here to talk about honesty. I'm not here to tell you what you want to hear to make you feel warm and fuzzy. If you're looking for warm and fuzzy, well, I don't know what to tell you. Go watch a freaking Winnie the Pooh cartoon, because I'm not here to be warm and fuzzy. All of you enlightened, agnostic, atheist or whatever you claim to be, if you get your way or your friends get their way and you're able to basically marginalize Christians, you're able to force them to capitulate, you're able to use the government to force them, and you push them down and you weaken the Christians, what do you think happens there? What do you think happens? What are your other options? What other options do you have? Who's going to come in and take their place? Who's going to come in and fill the place, fill the void, fill the vacuum? Jared, can you explain? I don't think anyone can, how supposed women's rights groups and Hollywood leftists and liberals and Democrats, how they can support Muslims, how they can defend and just fret and worry about offending Muslims. The people that execute homosexuals, the people that execute women for offending their religious beliefs, not shun them, not refuse to talk to them in public, but actually kill them. You don't want to offend those people. You'll offend Christians all day long. You'll make jokes, you Hollywood puke faces. You'll get on TV and in your movies, and you'll make jokes about Christians and, oh, they're all fanatics. Really? That's who the fanatics are in the world today. That's what we need to be worried about, is the Jerry Falwells and so forth. We don't want to be worried about the people that are right now, as I speak these words into this microphone, butchering people overseas. Killing children overseas. Yeah, I said killing children overseas. You don't need to worry about that. It's these far right Christians that are trying to force their values on us. That's what we need to be worried about.
And why are they not killing children here? Why is it only happening overseas?
Because they can't see you.
Right, but what happens when they get here?
They will start killing them. Oh, and this leads us right into our next story. Pro-Palestinian protesters screwing with ammo supply. Oh, did I get your attention? Did I get your attention there, gun people? Yeah. For all of you out there who are upset, angry, annoyed by the fact that you can't find the ammunition that you want, well, here's one for you. This comes to us from I'm pretty sure they're a left-leaning puke face organization, so I'm not going to say their name. If you want to know it, you can look in the show notes. But the title of the story is Israeli Company Targeted by Oakland Blockade Imports Ammunition into the U.S. And you're like, what? Title story, Israeli-owned shipping company Zim, Z-I-M, the target of recent port blockades organized by Palestinian solidarity activists in California. Is importing millions of rounds of small arms and ammunition to the United States each year. So as a gun person, you might be thinking, that's a good thing. That's probably a pretty good thing, right? Let's face it. You, as an American consumer, have been consuming and purchasing so much ammunition that it's really difficult for the companies in the United States to keep up with demand. So what do? Well, they go overseas and they buy it from Israel, they buy it from Russia, they buy it from Ukraine, they buy it from all kinds of places, and they import it so that you can have ammo to shoot. And so pro-Palestinian activists stopped Israeli cargo ship from unloading olives, wine, ceramics, marine materials in Oakland and Los Angeles last week. Now stop. How can puke-face hippie California dumbasses lawfully stop and blockade ships from being unloaded? Well, number one, they can't do it legally. They are breaking the law. At very least, they're trespassing. And then you can go into interference with lawful commerce and so forth. Now, Jared, you're a smart kid. The federal government loves to stick its beak, it loves to stick its nose into places that it has absolutely no constitutional authority to be in. But what do we know? Every time the feds decide they want to pass a law to screw with the American people, what do they put in the very beginning? What clause did they put in the very beginning? Because this is very important to you guys who don't know anything about the Constitution or the Bill of Rights. What is the only clause that allows the federal government to stick their nose into a state's business? The Interstate Commerce Clause.
Oh, okay. I couldn't remember the name of
it. Yeah, the Interstate Commerce Clause. Every time they pass because you're like, well, how is it? And your stupid friends, your friends that went to public school in the last 20 years, your ignorant friends, they think that just because the federal government is the federal government, it has the authority to do anything. It has the authority to tell you in Vermont or in Texas or in Wyoming, it has the authority to tell you what you can and can't have and what you can and can't own and, what you can purchase, what you can sell, what you blah, blah. No, the Constitution does not give it that authority. However, in the Bill of Rights, they put the interstate commerce clause. And so what the federal government will do, your senators and congressmen, when they decide they want to pass a gun control bill, they'll put that in the first paragraph. In the interest of regulating interstate commerce, we've decided that you can no longer own AR-15 rifles. Well, for a federal government that is so concerned about what you do in Iowa, in Ohio, in Florida, where is not the commerce that is coming in to the United States from another country into a port to be distributed throughout the entire United States, Jared? Is that not interstate commerce?
I would think it would be. And where I don't this really makes me angry because they'll put up blockades and officers or park rangers or whatever they put out there to stop our vets from getting to the memorials that they want to go visit.
So where's the FBI? Why are there not federal marshals, federal agents out here keeping the ports open and keeping these idiots away from the ships? Is this not the ultimate example of interstate commerce? And, if we had a situation where the feds should be sticking their beak into it, would it not be this situation right here? And by allowing these pro-Palestinian idiots, let's face it, these people in California are such a bunch of useless tools. I don't even know what to say about that, besides the fact that they're a bunch of useless tools. And you say, well, Paul, how did you even figure out this story? How did you even find it? And we actually found it because I was researching some information about Federal Cartridge Company. Federal's a friend of ours, and they have been for a long time. And one of the paragraphs in this story highlights Federal. It says the ammunition was destined for Federal Cartridge of Anoka, Minnesota. The company, which also operates under the name Federal Premium Ammunition, sells rounds of the exact specifications to the public, but also to the U.S. military, federal, and law enforcement. So it says that the records show that the Zim Constanza was also carrying, get this, 1.3 million rounds of 9mm Luger bullets. Now, what do we know about hippie liberal journalism? Were these really 9mm projectiles? Or were they finished cartridges of ammunition? What do you think, Jared? See, it's kind of a.
I'm gonna go with it. I don't know.
See,
it could have been bullets.
It's kind of a toss-up. I mean, they could actually. I mean, because Federal is owned by ATK, and ATK is like the largest ammunition supplier for the U.S. military. So they could have actually been shipping projectiles, unloaded projectiles, to ATK Federal to be manufactured and made into ammunition. Or we have a situation here where you've got your hippie liberal puke-faced journalism where they can't make the differentiation between a cartridge of ammunition and a bullet and an actual projectile. So I don't know. I don't know what we can do here. But again, as we said, we see an instance of bullying, and rather than nut up and say, no, we're not going to take this, we're not playing with you idiots, we just allow them to interrupt interstate commerce. And nobody has called them out. I haven't seen, have you, Jared, where people called them out and said, hey, federal government, hey, U.S. Marshals, This is interstate commerce. This is lawful commerce. How are you allowing this to happen?
I've got another question.
Go ahead.
These people that are blockading the ships, where are people that are doing this on the border? Why aren't they at the border blockading people from coming across?
You mean illegal aliens and people that are carrying diseases and thieves and criminals and terrorists and stuff like that are just walking across the border right now?
I don't understand.
Oh, you're just a crazy radical, and that doesn't happen. Yeah, I got a question for you, Jared. Let's say they get froggy, and you get 100 Christians, 1,000 Christians, and they blockade a ship that's coming in from Saudi Arabia. Do you think the federal government would sit back and just say, well, that's their right to blockade the ship and we're not going to stop them from, keeping the ship? What if it was an oil tanker? What if it was a tanker filled with crude oil and 1,000 Christians blockaded the port and wouldn't allow the crude oil to be offloaded? What do you think would happen then? Do you think they'd say, well, they're protesting and just they're right as Americans protest? What do you think?
No, I think that they would be dealt with.
Yeah, no kidding. Oh, hey, this next piece of good news, this good news came to us from one of our fans, one of our students of the gun out there in the audience, and they said, did you know, Paul, that Amazon has what they call the Smile program? And we're like, okay, what is the Amazon Smile program? Well, the Amazon Smile program donates 0.5% of the price of your eligible Amazon Smile purchases to a charitable organization. And you're like, okay, get to the point, BFD. Well, the BFD is, check this out. The NRA Foundation is an approved Amazon Smile charity. So if you use Amazon Prime, you can actually donate money to the NRA Foundation Incorporated, the NRA Civil Rights Defense Fund, the NRA Freedom in Action Foundation, all of those through Amazon. So how cool is that? I bet you didn't know that, did you? Did you? Did you? Did you?
I didn't know that. Did you?
No, I didn't know that until just now. So
that was from one of our fans?
Yeah, that was from one of our fans. Now, we're looking at the, Jared, when I look down through the show notes, we've got, people won't stop. Here in America, they won't stop. There's so much. We're going to have to add, well, obviously we already added a third hour. The third hour is going to be full this week because we've got 3 stories that we haven't even touched on that I really wanted to deal with, and we're almost out of time. But before we wrap up, ladies and gentlemen, children of all ages, thank you very, very much for being out there in the Student of the Gun audience. We always appreciate it. And we really sincerely, Jared and I, appreciate you guys sending us little notes and writing in and saying, hey, did you know about this? Or just want to make sure. And, there are some times that, we get 3, 4, 5 notes that tell us the same thing, but that's cool. Don't stop. Make sure that you're watching Student of the Gun TV every Monday night at 9 o'clock Eastern on Dish Network Channel 266. We've got new episodes coming up each and every week now, all the way through the fall. And Jared's got a brand new one for you tonight if you're listening to this on Monday. And if not, you're just going to have to catch it later. And what do we do, Jared, if they can't catch it? If they don't catch it on TV, where can they go and watch it?
StudentOfTheGun.com.
StudentOfTheGun.com. It's that easy. Roku TV, Apple TV, Chromecast TV, the mobile app, all of that good jazz. And don't forget, all of you who are interested, you're in the third hour. You're like, oh, what's this third hour about? Well, the third hour is where I get a little bit farther off the leash. And if you guys sign up, if you subscribe to the third hour, and in order to do that, you just go to studentofthegunradio.com, and there's a little link right there. It says subscribe to the third hour. If you do that for the next 2 weeks, it's been going on for 2 weeks now, right, Jared? Yeah. Yeah, if for the next 2 weeks, if you sign up for the third hour, you will get the Student of the Gun ebook, A Beginner Once, A Student for Life, absolutely free. You'll get it in PDF format, and it'll be sent directly to your inbox. So how cool is that? All right, thank you to XS Sights, Brownells, Colt, and SWAT Fuel for being with us, for being excellent sponsors of Student of the Gun Radio. Thank you guys for being out there. We're going to take a quick break, and we'll be right back with part 2. Remember, you're a beginner once, you're a student for life.